why is the whole blockchain crypto thing so popular in Switzerland?
I think there's a couple of things. Political system, very stable, in a way, and the government will not just step in and shut down immediately. They will probably try to find consensus and discuss with the parties what can be done to evolve. So I think this is the primary reason they come here. A lot of people from the US, everywhere, because they feel comfortable that the government is not going to just shut down the whole thing, right? They will have that discussion. That's number one. Two is, in Switzerland, there's, you just have very qualified people. And I think the education system is obviously supporting this. Also, the government is supporting this. We're putting in money in that space. So ETH universities, they have very qualified people, not just blockchain. Also, they have a history of understanding cryptocurrencies, program languages, mechanics, the robotics. All of that is very much. There's a lot of knowledge here in Switzerland. That's why these companies come here to recruit the people, and also obviously the convenience and the quality of life is definitely another aspect where people come here and want to be here in Switzerland. So these are the main reasons, and I think through that now we have seen that this Crypto Valley Zug Association has evolved. So there are 50 to 100 companies which are now kind of registered there, and they provide services into the system. And I think the canton as well is obviously doing a very good job on supporting these different organizations to come up with new services.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is also, I think the Swiss guys they want to do things right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they are always kind of like they want to make it work. And now, for example, if you see that the press and reputation on the ICOs was not so good, so they kind of initiated a new project to write down a code of conduct, for example, so that people will start following these these standards. There could also be self-regulating organization around that. That's a possibility as well, that this is going to come up. So I think all of these things, it just kind of like helps and attracts a lot of companies to come here and operate out of Switzerland.
How can cryptocurrencies be used on a daily basis?
Obviously, globally, there are merchants which accept cryptocurrency. Not so many, but I think there are, and it's getting growing and growing. In Switzerland, I think the canton again and Zug made the first move and allowed people to pay up to 250 Swiss franc in equivalent of cryptocurrency to any services they provide. And I think they are extending that now quite heavily. And they're also allowed to pay incorporation cost with cryptocurrencies. So basically they have teamed up with Bitcoin Swiss to kind of have a proper process, which is obviously frictionless for the person who pays, but also for the government. And I think that is very popular now. I think it's obviously a very good sign. The other thing you can, which in Ticino, cities are doing the same, so they want to get into that as well. The SBB, the Swiss railway system, they basically allow you to pop up your bitcoins at their machine, so at the ticket machine. So you can actually put in money, either cash or you can put in credit card. I don't know about the credit card, but
so
cash.
What is the advantage for me paying with Bitcoin than with Swiss francs?
First of all, I think, if you are one of the lucky ones who invested early in cryptocurrencies, you have probably much more capital now that you invested at the beginning. How do you want to use that, right? If you can use it straight away, your fees, transaction fees are very low. Clearly, if you have to exchange it to fiat and then use it, you pay a bit more fees because you have to pay the banks again, right? So that's one advantage. If you have it, you want to spend it. So I think for me that's a client segment that we need to take in consideration for that. The other thing is it's very easy, right? You do most of it through the mobile, so it's very quick, it's cheap, it's convenient, the new word in the blockchain and cryptocurrency scene is frictionless, right?
Mhm.
Less frictions. It makes it more convenient, and that's why I think people want to use it. One is because they've made earnings, they have new capital which they want to spend. Another thing is because it's really convenient to do it.
So if you compare a Bitcoin exchange, right? I think you have to pay for every payment 25 Swiss francs, and you compare to that Revolut.
Yes.
Where is then the advantage?
I think Revolut right now, as far as I saw, has no cryptocurrency yet there, right? I think the problem or the issue is always exchanging from fiat into cryptocurrency.
Mhm.
That's where you pay,
Yeah.
right? Transacting within the cryptocurrency network or doing an exchange of Bitcoin to Ethereum or the other way around or in other currency is massively cheaper. So that's why I think a lot of people are obviously scared, right, to use it because they think there's high fees. Yeah, but it's more of an entry fee. Now, the second aspect I think is also obviously within Bitcoin, that network, because the value of Bitcoin has increased, has made it more expensive. Potentially, some of these will become more relevant for the exchange